in the first part of this piece, one of the big focuses as we're closing Women's History Month was a lot of stuff you talked about in this piece. People see were the stereotypes of women when it comes to bodybuilding or just being in the gym, right? And
Mhm.
I thought one of the things you said interesting in the first piece was all women should get on the gym floor. Stay away from just wanting to do cardio all the time. And you pretty much like get on the gym floor and actually pick up some weights and do that. Could you talk about why that's important and also some of the things, because you and I talked about this on camera and off camera, that you just face the challenges as a woman being in the gym, the things people said to you, the sexist things you've heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, could you talk a little about what it's like being a woman in the gym and why weights are important for women and it's okay to be strong?
Mm.
Yeah. So as a New Yorker, I'm a ball buster. That's what I do. I can hang with the boys. I bust balls nonstop. Like if you see me in the gym, I'm gonna be like, "What are you doing, you bitch? Like pick up heavier weight. Like let's go. Like push yourself. Like don't be a bitch." That's the
I
way
would
that
love to hear you
I
say this
am.
to Brian. I would love to hear you say it to Brian
Why?
because he's probably
You
working out with
wait
some
until this
lightweight.
travel ban is lifted, Brian. Ooh, I'm gonna follow you around everywhere you go.
I'm
You're going to the bodega? Don't be a bitch.
I'm excited
Train.
because it's funny because I could see it because like I have weights in my room now. I could see you look at them and be like, "Yo, come on, you got to get some heavier shit than
There we
that."
go. I like it.
They're kind of heavy, but like I know how it go.
FaceTime me next time you train, and I'll just be like, "Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch," the whole time. But I I bust balls with the best of them. So when it comes to fitting in on the gym floor now, I can walk into any gym and feel comfortable. Like that's just it's taken years, but now that's something that I can do.
I thought it would have been the
However,
opposite because a lot of
nope.
people don't know what they're doing, and it probably irks you when you're looking at that.
See, it actually doesn't. That's the thing. Like being that I was a trainer for a while and now I've been doing this so long, a lot of people, unless they're like, and this is not to be like getting at young kids, but like, unless they're like 16-year-old boys who are like ego lifting, 99% of the gym population wants to know what they're doing wrong.
Sure.
And not in like a sexist or misogynistic way. Like, hey, if you put, your feet a little bit closer and turned your toes out, you might have a better squat depth. Like something as simple as that. Or like, hey, you're not really lining up on the bar correctly. Let me move your hands in and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Like something as simple as that, because we all belong in a gym. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care if you're overweight. I don't care if you're underweight. I don't care if you're a chick, if you're a dude, if you're old, if you're young. I don't give a shit. Like, you're in there, you're bettering yourself. That's what you should be doing. However, when it comes to the people that think they're better than other people, I shut that shit down so quick. Like, so quick. Like, how dare you come into a gym and talk shit about the people that are there? Like, how fucking dare you? I don't have time for that at all. Because if you worried about yourself as much as you're worrying about everyone else, your total would probably be a lot fucking higher.
Agreed.
That's first and foremost. But, being a chick, when I first started working at a gym, there was like a lot of testosterone in the air, and that made me really fucking nervous. Like, really nervous, because you go onto the gym floor and there's maybe 2 sets of 15-pound dumbbells. But underneath the 15-pound dumbbells are the 75s. So you have all these big burly ass dudes going, and like taking them, pulsing them up. And you're just like looking, you're like, what the fuck? Where am I? Like, what am I
It can be
doing? Why did I
intimidating. I could see that.
Exactly. So what I really focused on when I was a trainer, when I worked at the gym, even now, last year I launched my Fresh Fit 12-week program. It was a free 12-week training program for chicks. Like, you want to learn how to lift? Here's everything you need. In doing that, it was, let's get you more comfortable on the gym floor. Like, there's all these things about like women should be quiet, like don't take up too much space, like don't be too much, don't be a bitch, don't be aggressive. And it's like, no, take up space, be a bitch, be aggressive, you belong there. Like, whether it's work, the gym, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm too old to be dealing with this shit. Like, if you can out squat me, you can talk shit. If you can't out squat me, shut your mouth. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's
Another one of the things you had said, Maria, in the piece was you talked about the importance of women empowering women and doing it through whatever. It could be bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever it is in the gym, but you spoke about that. Do you really feel there is an empowerment of women through the physicality and things that are shown in the gym, and seeing that, or even making the statements like you said, like, hey, it doesn't have to be all about on the treadmill or the stairmaster. You can get out and lift those weights. We can see women do more diverse things in the gym. You know, how much of that empowering do you think goes on in the gym?
So the statement "empowered women empower women" is something I fucking stand by. Like, strong women breed strong women. Like, my mom doesn't lift, but she's the strongest bitch I know. So like, she empowers me to be stronger. You know what I mean? Like, my friend Steph, like, she's not super into fitness, but she's been hitting the gym. Well, before quarantine, she was hitting the gym. She's like, I can curl 10-pound dumbbells. I'm like, yes, you can. Like, fucking curl them. Like, do
Right.
it. Or my friend Lisa, you know, she's super into HIIT and like high intensity and kickboxing and all that. She's like, I did 2 kickboxing classes in a row. I'm like, good for you. Like, you get that conditioning. I did a half of a kickboxing class and I threw up. So good for you. Like, you do it. But then, like, my friend Michaela, she's 21. I met her down here. She just squatted 300 pounds in sleeves, like, with no spot, with a walkout, everything. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. Like, fucking squat it. You can do it. You're a strong girl. Like, do it. Just squat. And I feel like when you build that supportive community, that's kind of like just, it makes everything easier. You know what I mean? Like, people get annoyed if they're not in the fitness community when they see all of these videos and shit. Like, I've been muted by so many people on Instagram. I can't tell you how many people have muted me. I'm like, oh, did you see my story? They're like, I muted you years ago. I'm like, oh, all right. My mom probably wished she could mute me too, but like, whatever. But like, I can't tell you how many times I see PRs or like guys from the gyms in Brooklyn, girls from the gyms in Brooklyn, they'll send me their videos and they'll be like, look at what I just did. And I'm like, yeah, like, that's fucking right. Like, you pulled 300. Good for you. You squatted 4. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's like the support that you need when you train. And like, being that women are starting to take up more space in the lifting community, there's only more lifting up going on. There's a lot of powerlifting gossip and a lot of powerlifting drama. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, people talk shit left and right. But at the end of the day, like, if you're hitting a PR and you feel good about it, who the fuck am I to tear you down?
Right.
Like, I'm no one. I don't care if you have a pancake squat where like your tits basically touch your knees. I don't care. I don't care if your hips shoot up first. I don't care if you're doing high bar, low bar, if you're in flats, if you're in heels, if you're in sleeves, if you're in wraps, if you're bare knees. I don't give a shit. You're hitting a good lift. Like, that's what we should be applauding. Like, you don't have to tear women down. Like, women should not be tearing each other down. And I mean, I could go on a spiel about that in the lifting world, the professional world, whatever, but that's just how I feel about that.
How long did it take to probably adapt this mindset, right? Because was this something that just happened overnight? Was it something that took a while to develop, or did you always have it and did just, I guess, adapting into a male-dominated society enforce that?
Well, I mean, I've been in sports my whole life. You know, I used to play baseball when I was little, and then you weren't allowed to play baseball anymore, so you had to play softball. And then I played basketball, but you weren't allowed to play during this time slot because that was the boys' time slot. And then when I went to college, I wanted to do sports. And then all of a sudden I showed up to one of the things and I was the only chick there. And I'm like, all right, so I need to put on a tougher skin. Like, I need to be tougher. I need to show that this is where I belong and this is what I want to do. And, you know, I grew up, a lot of my cousins are dudes. Like, I have a little brother who busts my balls nonstop. Like, on my block, all the boys my age were boys. Like, all the kids my age were boys. So whether we're playing, you know, wiffle ball, we're playing a pickup game, whatever we're doing, I was always the only girl. So it's kind of a mindset that I like grew into, but I didn't realize that I actually needed it until college. And I have to say, like, my internship with CBS Sports my senior year, we were covering March Madness, obviously. And I'm sitting in a room with Charles Barkley, Wally Zerbiak, Ian Eagle, like a bunch of these big fucking guys that I used to just watch. And I'm the only chick in that bullpen. And I'm like, I'm an intern and I'm the only chick. Like, how can I be top of my game? You know what I mean? And that just kind of carried over into like my everyday life too. I mean, and my professional life. You know, when someone talks down to me these days, if it's a guy, whether it's, you know, romantic, friendship, a colleague, a boss, I'm usually always just like, all right, I know that you don't intend to make me feel this way, but it makes me feel that way. So I would prefer it if we could have this conversation in a different tone or something. Like, I believe that women are just as capable of doing anything a man can do. Given we have different muscular systems and like different like proportions and things like that.
Right.
But like, if you're good at your job, if you're a good lifter, if you're whatever, I don't think it should matter whether you're a chick or a dude. I think that you should be able to be looked up to and respected in the same manner regardless. That's just that.
No, absolutely, absolutely agreed. I guess one other thing to touch on is we did this when you were on the sports walk too, and you spoke about this too, but you talked about sports affecting mental health as well too, and that's something that people will see in the later episodes of this with sideline stories. But how much you've somebody who's been very open about anxiety and depression, and Maria, you and I have had conversations about this. How much has the gym been sort of a sanctuary for you in dealing with your mental health? And I know it is for me, but how has it been for you in that way?
When I was 15 and I was suicidal, it was the only time in my life that I didn't play sports. Out of all the years of being athletic, from age 13 to age 15 or age 16 almost, I didn't touch a baseball, I didn't touch a softball, I didn't touch a basketball, I didn't do anything. So athletics has always been my outlet. And when I broke up with my long-term boyfriend at the time, I was miserable. I was devastated. I didn't know where to throw myself, so I just went to the gym. And I remember it was like 2 days after we had broken up, and I had a meet coming up. I was competing in May. We broke up in April. And I just remember going to the squat rack and loading it up and just fucking sobbing. And people were coming up to me in the gym and they were like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yep, I'm good. Like, we're good." And I just remember powerlifting was just that constant for me. Like, the weight never changed. Like 200 pounds is always 200 pounds no matter what the fuck's going on outside. So I just remember being able to load up the bar and either squat it or deadlift it or bench it and just have somewhere to go. And for that hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it was, I was by myself focusing on something. When you focus on your breathing and what muscles you're engaging, and you don't want to pee your pants as you're deadlifting or like whatever you're focusing on, there's nothing else outside that can get in. And the gym has always been like a place of solace for me. Especially now, like when I moved down here, I moved to a city where I knew fucking no one for a brand new job. And I had no friends down here. I mean, I still have like a handful, but with this fucking pandemic bullshit, I can't see anyone. So I'm like, all right, we're back at square one. But the first thing I did when I was down here, me and my friend Lisa drove down and we parked, we looked, and I was like, "Lisa, let's go find a gym." She's like, "What? We just got here." I was like, No, gym. Let's go find one.